I was going to be out of town this week. I was actually going to be gone for like a week and a half or 2 weeks, but I'm not leaving town. I'm going to be here. So, and I wasn't expecting to do this tonight, but Nesdal, I guess, sent us a thing
That damn Nesbot.
or whatever. He's not going to be around tomorrow, so he's like, "Hey, let's go live tonight," you know. So here we are.
Well, we missed last night. We're not doing tomorrow, and we're not going to be on until Friday. So it just makes sense to do it tonight. You know, it can't be any time because Johnny's got to learn songs for this wedding he's doing.
You don't know how to play the electric slide or, you know, the wedding theme?
I don't think that's what they want. I don't know those either, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, yes. Hey, so we're live. 6:14 p.m. Whoa. Who's not wearing headphones? Both of you. Oh.
I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
my headphones are dead. I didn't plug them in again. They're plugged in now, but they weren't plugged in before.
Huh?
Damn you, Nesdal.
9:14 where you guys are?
It is 9, yes, 9:15 and 14.
Wow, cool. Awesomes. Yes. Cool. Okay, so yeah, so we're live tonight instead of tomorrow. Apparently Dave has something better to do tomorrow night.
I do.
What are you doing tomorrow night, Dave?
I'm doing a sound gig tomorrow night for a lot of money, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Can't turn it down.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me refresh this. Since we're using this new system now, there's a chat window. So any comments we get, I have to look to get them. My phone won't go off anymore. So I have to watch the
Which
video.
means we're not going to have any comments at the end of this either, are we?
No. No, and that's one of the things that I'm not thrilled about. But, you know. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, Rob.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can thumbs up this own thing yourselves, man. You know that?
Yeah.
Are you guys even subscribed?
No, I've unsubscribed for you a while ago.
Yeah, it's like Zipkin. I unfriend that guy every other week, man, on Facebook. I'm gonna start unfriending people, I think. Not because I want to.
It's more out of necessity than anything else.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going.
You can only have 5,000 friends. I'm like 3,000 away from that. I gotta start getting rid of people.
I got so many people are requesting too. It's just like every day.
I gotta start making rooms, you know, for actual non-friends. Hey, Killer Chimp. Yo. My rooster's like jumping around. Killer Chimp 12. How did Eddie achieve that dirty tone on the 5150 album?
The dirty tone? I thought it was.
Was it actually dirty?
I thought it was a very clean tone, just with a lot of harmonizer and chorus.
Which song? Is there a particular song, Killer Chimp?
Yeah, I mean, 1984 and 5150 were surprisingly clean. Even the square, they were very clean sound.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very clean.
Very clean. I mean, they're not Fair Warning-ish or Women and Children First or, you know, VH2, VH1, or even Diver Down I thought was a little dirtier.
No, that was the cleanest. Diver Down was the cleanest of all the records.
Well, I agree with you, but 5150 and 84 were also very clean. Okay, let's put Diver Down in that category. Then Diver Down, 84, 5150. And then I started seeing a little bit more distortion-y type chorusy sound in OU812, and then of course, you know, the Music Mans in the 5150s were Saldanos, depending on what he was playing. And For Unlawful, really, you know, that For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge changed everything. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, Dave. I mean, yeah, Diver Down. I was just listening to Diver Down on the way home from work tonight, and yeah, very, very clean sounding, as was 84 and I think 5150. But very, you started going to a more of a chorusy sound, and that's, you could certainly see, how that totally evolved to come for an awful, then more balance, and it's just really, a process.
Well, I mean, that was the sound of the time.
Right.
You listen to any other album around that time. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you really listen, if you really pay attention to production and what's in style, even though Van Halen always said they didn't follow trends, production-wise they did.
Right.
Maybe not style-wise. Everybody else is following them, really. Well, for the most part, I mean, some of the keyboard tunes kind of followed along the late '80s pop thing, which, I mean, that's the only way they could get the stuff on the radio. So
it's kind of hard to not follow trends. You're right, Johnny. You're kind of placed into a box of the sounds of the time, and then you have to work within whatever's in that box. And Van Halen, they weren't a fad. They didn't follow trends per se, but it's inevitable that you're going to be stuck into the sound of the times.
Well, production-wise, yeah.
Right.
The sound of the records. Records basically they have to. There's a certain standard that has to be met to be on radio as far as the production, the sound quality.
Right.
Right. So, so Van Halen albums, if you go back and listen year by year, it's like, yeah, that sticks to what else was going on at the time. I mean, take 0812. A lot of people say that's a very quiet. It's not a very loud album.
Not very bassy, they say.
It's not very bassy or whatever. But listen to everything else that was around at that time. It was all pop, dance stuff.
Yeah. Duran Duran and.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Duran Duran was a little earlier, really, but at least actually Van Halen, that album 0812 wasn't as at least it didn't have as much reverb on it, like other rock hair metal bands at the time, where you hear that snare drum and it's nothing but reverb.
Right.
That's the cool thing about Van Halen is it wasn't drenched in reverb, which is great.
Right.
But in other aspects, though, it was it has to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. So hey Jared, hey Squarehead. Stefan, Michael Smith, what's up, dudes? Killer Chump 12, songs like Get Up, Summer Nights, Good Enough, Inside. It sounds dirty, like he used the Steinberger for those songs.
Well, he used the Steinberger for Get Up and for Summer Nights. Just those two songs. And it sounds to me like at that period of time, well, maybe not. At that period of time, that record and OU812 especially, I think a Gallion Kruger amp made an appearance or two as well. Yeah. Because it was very Gallion Kruger sounding.
Right.
I think he bought one. From what was his name? The guy who used to sell him the guitars, Dan.
Dan Connolly. Dan Connolly.
Huh? No. Anyway, I think in the list of gear that he sold him over the years, I think there was a Kruger amp.
A GL250, I believe.
It's in one of the magazines. I'm not that much of a nerd, but yeah, it's in one of the magazines. There was a list of gear.
No, you are.
Dan Martin.
Yeah.
Dan Martin. You're right. You're right. You're right. Dan Martin. And back to what you said, Dave, too, on Summer Nights and Get Up with Steinberger. I mean, he had the EMGs in that, and those are active pickups.
That's active. Those are hot.
Those are very hot sounding pickups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They hot.
Very distorted.
They hot.
Steinbergers can get, well, you have a Steinberger. Is that guitar gets really, really hot and distorted, right?
Yeah, it does. When you crank it up and especially to this 5153, I mean, it's a hot sounding guitar.
Hey, Billy Shelton. Squarehead says because his Marshall was dying at that point in time.
Well, I don't know about that. Later on he had said that that he didn't he had changed his mind about that. I think he was just getting sick of the amp, so, or he said he was just getting sick of the amp, so he thought it was dying, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, for another 10 years.
More, he wanted more gain. He wanted something with more gain in it. So.
Yeah, because I mean, he used that Marshall right up for another 10 years, right up into balance. He even used it in balance. He had the 5150s, but I mean, he wasn't using it exclusively. But you're right, Dave. He used it for another 10 years, technically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you remember the Guitar World centerfold that had that amp, if you look closely, there's a set list stuck to the amp, and that set list is from 0812.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, 88.
Well, that amp
Monsters
always
of Rock,
that
maybe?
amp always made the live show, but he was also using a lot of Marshall JMPs back then as well. His rack was filled with plexis and JMPs, and those were the real amps. They weren't just the ones that you show off with nothing in them. They were getting used.
Hey, Jim. Is it Nicholson? See, now it's like we're acting. Hey, Jim, is it Nicholson?
Nichols.
And then Robo Dave has to say, it's Nichols.
No, it's not. It's Nicholas.
Oh, it's Nicholas. Oh, Nicholson? Nichols. Hey now, Women and Children First doesn't sound dated to me. I just love Ed's tone on that album. Rock on. That's what I always say. As far as there's a little too much reverb on it, take the reverb off.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound dated at all to me. That's the one album where you take that reverb away, and there's nothing about that album, tone-wise, even song-wise, that sounds like it came out when it came out. Every other album has a stamp on it where it's like, oh, that sounds from this year or that year or whatever.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're right, because I mean, I was listening to Women and Children First on the way home, and everybody wants some. Today, it's like, wow, you can just hear it's just like drenched in reverb.
But aside from the reverb, there's really nothing on there that really pinpoints
right
1980 or whatever. You can take. I think a cat just jumped.
I don't even hear a lot of reverb on that stuff. I mean, the first record, there's a ton of reverb on. The first record.
Yeah.
It's all reverb. But I don't hear much reverb on Women and Children First at all. I think it's less and less as the years go on.
It became less and less, and then became more and more for a while, and then became less and less. If that makes sense.
Well, when was it more and more? When do you think it was more and more?
The late 80s, 5150, 0812, and then became less.
I think it was more chorus. It was more chorus than reverb back.
Are you talking guitar or overall production?
Guitar. Yeah.
I'm talking overall everything.
Oh, but I think me and Rob are talking guitar.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking just overall in general, on the vocals, on the drums, everything. The one songs, does that make sense? The couple of songs that came out at one time that have the least amount of reverb ever are the ones they did for Best of Both Worlds. They're very dry.
Oh yeah.
Up for Breakfast.
Yes. Up for Breakfast, and It's About Time.
They're just totally dry.
Yeah, they're very dry. They almost like Get Up. Get Up was very dry. From 5150, Get Up was very dry.
Hey, Blackie DH. Kilotrum 12 says, I've become a Van Halen nerd. So I can tell what guitar tone belongs to what album. Hey, new format, Johnny. Looks great. Love the sidebar for comments. Cool. David Allen Wright says, the vintage Marshall Plexi, biggest issues is the power transformer, the primary circuit wiring. Here's some big words here. Temperaments can get going in and out. The issue is the PT was hand wired and nothing is an exact replacement. Nice. Nice. Yeah. What?
Awesome.
I don't even know what I even just said. But
sounds great, Dave.
But no, but I was talking.
When it comes to Dave.
I was talking production-wise though. As far as the album, as far as effects, as far as all the effects you hear on all the instruments, or just on the production, or the mix, or even just the way it's EQ'd. You know, that's what I was talking about. Not just guitar.
Yeah.
You know, Shane T. Neal checking in from work. Hey. Hey everybody, thank you for watching this stuff. Yeah, we're actually live tonight because Nesdal he has something better to do tomorrow, which it actually is. You know, he's actually going to go outside and get some sun for a little while. You know? So,
you laugh it up. You guys just laugh it up.
No, I'm not even joking. I'm not kidding. Yeah, so that's why we're live tonight instead of tomorrow, or there may be. What are you doing tomorrow, Rob?
I don't know. Not sure. I might be around.
Okay, we can go live tomorrow as well, because I'll be here. We can go live as long as you want.
I might be. I'll have to double check, but I think I might be around. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. David Allen says, "Sorry guys, I was thinking about Ed's amps."
Hey guys out there too. So you know, I finally picked up a copy of the Total Guitar magazine with Ed, and yeah, it's a great read. It's got not only does it have an incredible amount of stuff on Eddie, you know, with you know, with a really great interview. It's got some pretty cool stuff, some pretty interesting lessons and stuff. I mean, probably not a lot of stuff that most of us that play this kind of music don't know how to do, but I did listen to the CD and I did look through the lessons, and it's definitely got some cool riffs in there and some interesting ways of looking at things. So I definitely learned a little bit from that. But yeah, it's a great read. So if you guys out there get a chance to find this magazine, Total Guitar, I bought mine off of eBay because my Barnes & Noble didn't have it. But Total Guitar, with that on the cover, it's a great read. Really cool. Cool pictures too. So what's up, Dave?
Johnny left.
Yeah. What's up with you, my friend? What have you been doing?
Nothing. I upgraded some Floyd Roses on some of these Wolfgangs.
Nice.
Did some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, you got the stainless screws on there. Nice. You did do it. Good. On the
stainless screws and titanium blocks, and I put a brass block in.
Oh, you did. You went the whole distance. Nice. Good deal.
Yeah, I did the brass block on the. What's that?
I just got to ask you. You and I talked about that guitars exclusively because you and I have the same guitar. Do you notice a difference in the sound?
I don't know yet. I haven't plugged it in. I really just got it done just before getting online.
Really? Okay.
And I haven't plugged it in yet. I was bored. Really, it doesn't need it. I was just bored, so yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference. That fast, yeah, that quick. Yeah, there's a difference. Absolutely.
Okay. I'll have to look at possibly doing the same to my trusty EVH USA Wolf.
Well, it's really right away, like first chord, just the first chord that you just heard. That's how it's incredible how wow. It's a lot different.
Okay.
Different. There's a lot more sustained, and it does it need it? No, it doesn't need it. But is like effortless to get notes and sustain out of it now.
Okay.
It's like really effortless. I didn't even have a good grasp on the notes on the strings just now, and it was just crazy. Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Now, Dave, what size block is that? What size block?
Well, you can use a 37 or a 42. This one is a 37, and on the natural one I use the 42, and they both work fine.
Okay.
Just so you know, that the block that's on yours right now is a 37.
Yeah.
So that's why I use the 37 on it. But
okay.
I only had one, and I had a 42, so I just put a 42 on the other one, and it's also great. It works perfectly.
I think I'm going to do the mod then. If it's that much of a difference, and this guitar being probably my favorite one that I have out of all my Van Halen guitars now, favorite Wolfgang anyways, not only because I got it relicked, but just because of what it is. I mean, why not do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And if you put the trem stopper in, which I suggest doing, even though they don't really need it, I suggest doing it because it's just another link in the chain to make it sound and react better. It also, when you drop the D, the D tuner into D, there will be no change in no fluctuation in the other strings going out of tune at all. You know, without that the trem stopper, even though it's flush against the wood, if you use the D tuner, the other strings will go out of tune. They'll go sharp, just ever so slightly, like ever so slightly. Not really noticeable, but can be every once in a while.
Yeah.
But with the trem stopper, it's got no place to go because that stopper is stopping that block. So it makes more sense to have it there, and when you drop D, nothing goes out of tune. Everything is still perfectly in tune.
I got a favor to ask you, Dave, because I know you have you have contacts directly with Floyd. Would you be willing to order me a set of the blocks and the screws, the titanium blocks and the stainless screws, and I'll just pay you when I see you in a couple weeks?
Let me look into that tomorrow because I may have actually just the credit card that I use may be maxed. It might be maxed. Because no I had a problem today and I have to look into it.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But if I have room on the card, absolutely, I will let you know though.
All right, brother.
That's not to say you can't do it too. I can give you the number and they'll take care of it.
I can do it. I can do it. That's not a problem. I just figured because you order the stuff from these guys all the time. But just let me know either way, and I'll do it myself.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay.
But I'll update this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, did you hear that? Oh. Okay,
no.
we got some
Howie!
Some comments. Hey, Howie. Hey, dude. Yeah. See if I can read these things. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I've been getting a lot of messages from people asking when we actually go live, what days, what times. Normally we're on Mondays, lately anyway, it's been Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, generally, you know. I was out of town yesterday, and it totally slipped my mind about the thing, and like around like an hour late, like about now, actually, about this time yesterday, I just happened to remember, and I texted Nesdal and said, hey, can you please put up a rerun, you know, on all the pages, just to tell people that I'm not around, you know.
Yeah.
So, and to make things even more confusing, we're on right now.
Yeah.
You know. So generally Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then as far as myself, I've decided to do, I've been doing those Veda things, vlogging every day in August.
Yep.
I've decided I'm going to do those every day. So I'll be doing daily vlogs like every night, roughly somewhere in between like 10 and midnight Pacific. When I jump on, I just talk.
Yeah.
I just talk about my day and whatever. So I'll be doing those every day.
That's the late night.
From now until
you decide you don't want to do them anymore.
Oh no, I can always. I mean, it's no problem. It's no problem. So, and sometimes Nesdal will join me. Will join me for those, which he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going to join me last night, and then I was texting you, and I'm like, "Are you awake?" And you
fell
just
asleep.
you vanished.
I fell asleep. Next thing I knew, it was 3 a.m. I woke up. It was 3 a.m. I was like, "Oh man, I missed it."
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And you watched it, and you watched the replay. And it was nothing but Johnny just like crying and swearing and saying how Nesdal didn't like him anymore. And did you see all that?
No, I didn't.
You saw me removing our friendship ring. I took it off.
Dave, are you cheating on me?
Listen, I'm not cheating on anyone. I've got no one, nor do I want anyone.
I took my earring out.
That's what you think of our relationship. Okay.
Okay.
Don't you?
All right. So we got some comments.
Don't you turn into a girl.
We got comments. Rob, you're on a Mac. Are you able to see the comments?
I am not.
Okay, because the only way I can see them is on this other computer.
Sounds like that might be a good thing.
It likes to be slow, though. That's the problem. It likes to lag. This browser I'm using.
Yeah.
Let me try to get to some of these. Jared Frost said, I remember watching an interview with Eddie during the Balance album tour, and he said that he used to record completely dry, and he would add the effects later. What is the benefit? Well, the benefit to doing that is you can add whatever you want afterwards. Any effects you use on the actual track, they're there forever, and you can't change them. You're stuck.
Right.
Nobody actually records like that anymore. Everything is added later. All effects, you wouldn't believe. Your favorite songs on the radio, you wouldn't believe the production that goes into those things. The vocals are totally pumped. Syllables are taken from dozens and dozens of takes. None of that is actually real.
So basically, you just got to figure out how to pull it off live then. And if you're really good, you can. If you're really not good, you can't, right?
Yeah.
That always used to be Eddie, and that always used to be Van Halen's thing. I can't tell you how many interviews I've heard Eddie actually say. We do everything live in the studio because if we don't, all these bands that use, Pro Tools, or not Pro Tools, but whatever, now they got to figure out how to pull it off live, and they can't. But they've been doing it for.
Well, he's talking about overdubs. He's talking about too much production, not just guitar. He's talking about overall. Yeah, he was talking about bands like Fleetwood Mac is what he was talking about.
Yeah.
How they go into the studio for like a year, and they're in there forever, and they make all these amazing sounding records, and then they have to figure out how to do it live. They actually have to go and hire a bunch of other musicians to play the album behind the actual band.
Mm-hmm.
To add to the sounds. Van Halen.
I think that's why Lindsey Buckingham doesn't like Eddie Van Halen too, because of that comment.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I like
Lindsey
Lindsey.
Buckingham stated that
He's cool.
Stated that he said something derogatory about Van Halen. I can't remember when, but he did.
Well, that's not very nice. I really liked that song he did though for Back to the Future. You remember when Marty's alarm clock goes off?
Yeah.
And I think it was when he woke up to go meet Doc. Was it when he went to go meet Doc Brown? Was it?
Yeah. Out
One
in
of
the
those
mall.
times. It was a song called what was it? It was Lindsey Buckingham.
Yes.
What was the? I keep thinking about Fleetwood Mac songs.
Yeah, because he wakes up at like 10 o'clock.
I forgot it. Does anybody in the comments know? We have comments now. What's a Lindsey Buckingham song from Back to the Future? It's has something to do with time. I remember. It's a good song. It was a great song.
It's not the Huey Lewis and the News. Got to get back in time. It's not that one.
No. No, it's I think it was when the alarm clock goes off, and he goes to meet Doc Brown at the mall. I think.
Yeah, the mall parking lot.
What was that song called? Anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so as far as adding the effects later, it's not just to guitar; it's to everything. You add it's like I was talking about production. They add all the effects to the vocals, to everything. Although some of the effects in the early days, like what I think what Rob was saying, that he actually did use in the studio on those actual tracks. Because I have some of the tracks, like let's say I have all the Michael Anthony bass tracks to a bunch of the songs where you can actually hear, if you listen real closely, you hear the rest of the band. Yeah. And you can actually hear Eddie hitting the pedals, and you can hear the effect come on. So a lot of that he was actually doing, on the actual, if you want to call it the master track or whatever.
Yep.
And I believe, like for Unchained, he actually did that while they were playing. I believe that flanger was actually in the actual track. It wasn't added later. And that was one of the things that Eddie always said, that he was so lucky that it actually turned out like that. Because if you notice live, it's never been like that since. It was just a magical thing where it ended up being those certain flange, The
sweep was just right.
Yeah.
And Dweezil Zappa said something about that in an interview in '95 in Guitar for the Practicing Musician. He actually quoted that exact thing, and he said, he goes, because he was interviewing Eddie, and he had his 5150 or 5149.5 Shamer guitar. Dweezil did, and he said something to Eddie in the article, like,
guitar player, yeah.
Guitar player, yeah. And he was like, he's like, you totally had, the sweep was perfect. I could never get my sweep on Unchained to sound like that. And the funny thing is, Eddie's got his speed on his flangers set just right, and he always manages to hit that just right. Even when he plays it live now, he's got it just right. He's dialed it in.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Yeah, Time Bomb Town is a song. Lindsey Buckingham from Back to the Future.
Okay.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
I had that cassette when I was a kid, and yeah.
Yeah.
Time Bomb Town. That's right. Yeah, I think that's the song when his alarm clock goes off. It's on that song. I think at night. Although I don't remember. Hey. Yo, Michael. Yo, Teddy. We got other people here. Yeah. Yes.
Very cool. Nice. Nice to see everyone on an off night. Or nice to know that everyone's there on an off night, because I don't see anybody.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Am I green?
That I can.
Usually when we go on, usually Dave's screen turns just green. He can't see anything. He can just hear us.
Yeah, that was a while ago, before I had my act together.
Oh, man. Teddy says, hey, Dave, show us Chris Hubbard's Trans-Trem Wolfgang.
I don't know it.
It's on Facebook, but if you get on Facebook, you can check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a Trans-Trem, and I don't know where he's getting the Trans-Trem from, because he didn't answer me. Or maybe he didn't. I just didn't see it.
He said he's getting an S trem, a standard trem, until he can afford the Trans-Trem, because the route is exactly the same for the standard trem than the Trans-Trem. I think it's awesome he's doing that. That's such an awesome project.
I think he's wasting his money. Getting a standard trem is a waste of money. He should just wait.
Yeah, the only thing I caution Chris on that, and he probably already knows this, is whoever's he's having route that, it's got to be so precise, because those Trans-Trems, I'm telling you, they are. I mean, I know I have one, and they are a beast of their own. I mean, you think intonating and setting up a Floyd Rose is hard? A Trans-Trem is. I remember setting the Trans-Trem up on this, and I've had this thing dialed in for 6 years finally. I did some work to it. I changed the strings, and I made a couple little changes. It literally took me 3 days straight to get this thing set up and intonated. I mean, it is such a bear. I mean, they're so hard, and when you're looking at the route and the tension screw that they have. And then the PV, it's going to be on the back, is where Eddie had his on the PV. But the route that you need to have for the body's got to be so precise for these bridges, because when you think about it, it's not just a standard bridge. It's and Chris, I'm sure Chris knows this, but it's when you're using that Trans-Trem, it's not like you're doing bar dives or pulling up on the bar if you decide you want to have it floating. The Trans-Trems do float, obviously, but it's cammed in such a way where all the strings are going up and down in tune with each other. So the route has got to be so perfect to have everything balanced the right way. I'm sure it'll be fine. I just caution him on that, because that's a big project right there, doing a custom Trans-Trem route on a PV. But I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. Good luck, brother. Good luck.
Mm-hmm. I just noticed, does the Steinberger plug in the back?
What's that?
Your Steinberger, is the input jack in the back of the guitar?
Yes.
Yeah, back top.
Yeah. So you got to use right there. You got to use an angled 45.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the honers and the knockoff copies have them in the side, but yeah, the original Berger.
Like mine.
Yeah, and then it's got the battery compartment here for the 9-volt battery, because they're active pickups. You know. Yep.
Wow, that's cool. I did not know that. Yes, sir. Is it Flashy? Flashy 5150 says, your dog is cool, Johnny. Thank you. He's right here. Howie the Dalmatian. Right.
And Dave is playing Fire in the Hole.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, I heard you noodling with a riff. That's a great riff, too.
Somebody was asking in the comments, what do you guys think about Van Halen 3?
You know, it's
I love that record. I love that record.
Yeah. I always liked Fire in the Hole and One I Want, but I never really cared for much of the rest of the album. I'd listened to it, loved the tour and all that, but it hasn't been up until the last 5 or 6 years I've really begun to develop an appreciation for it and where Eddie was at during that time. I mean, he was at a different time in his life. You know, Eddie was like 43, 44 at the time, years old, and his tastes were changing again. You know, he still had the classic Eddie, like Dave was just playing Fire in the Hole. That's a great riff. I was just playing that the other day, too. And, you know, it was great to see him with the Trans-Trem again, the Steinberger, but that really has some musical genius in it, I think. And it went unnoticed for a long time by most fans, from the guitar standpoint.
Just like Fair Warning.
Yeah.
Like Fair Warning. Nobody liked that record. Nobody liked that record until like years later.
Yep. Yep. I mean, they liked Unchained and maybe Mean Street, but everything else was just kind of a wash, you know? Nobody paid attention to it. They liked Van Halen, you know, and they were big on the tour scene. But you're right, Dave, the album was kind of like, oh, what's this? And what? It's literally become. It's literally become. That's my phone. It's literally become what, like the ultimate guitar record.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
What people say. That's what the people say.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Ballad of the Bullet, Ballad or the Bullet, Ballad of the Bullet.
Ballad.
Man, that song is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's got some great riffage. Yeah.
I mean, that has the A bass string on it, I believe. Well, I don't know. Did he have a bass string on one of his Wolfgangs by that time, or was that the 1984 Kramer? I guess.
The 84 Kramer had an A bass string on for Good Enough.
Yeah, I know that, but did he put it on that guitar again for that song, or was there an A bass string on a Wolfgang by that time?
I'd have to look back in the interviews. It sounds familiar. Kind of sounds familiar.
Johnny, do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was back on the 84. But
that's what I think.
I wouldn't be surprised though if it was just a Wolfgang that had it.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like a Wolfgang guitar because it doesn't sound like the rest of that record. The guitar sound is completely different, and that's why I thought it was on an old Kramer. Because if you listen to the sound of that record and then you listen to that song, it very much sounds like the sound on Good Enough.
Right.
And it's that guitar. It's the same guitar sound, like not an amp sound. It's the sound of that guitar to me.
Right. I would say the only song on 3 that I really still don't care for would be...
Let me answer that for you. I could tell you.
Yeah. I know you know. No, I actually like Once. How Many Say I? That's the only song I just don't...
I don't even consider that a song, though.
It's
I don't consider...
Once is...
But
Once is...
The reason why I don't like Once... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
The reason why I don't like Once is because it sounds like Genesis. It sounds like a Genesis song, like Phil Collins should be singing that song.
Yeah, it's definitely a total change. Yeah, it's definitely different. And my camera's dead for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I froze up and then I tried to unfreeze it. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. But you're right, it's very Genesis-y sounding. But the one song that I just can't get my hands. I can't. It's just how I just
can't.
Yeah, I mean, when I put it on my iTunes library, I don't even include that to be part of the album. I just don't, But
no, because it's horrible.
Yeah,
I know it's horrible.
It's horrible. But
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade.
That was probably the one song that Ed was probably the most proud of.
Yeah. Because
it was the first time singing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say I don't like it because I like everything he's ever done.
Yeah.
I listen to everything. I think it's all great.
Well, there's a difference between listening to everything and liking everything. You don't have to like everything. If there are things. I mean, if you walked up to Eddie and said, "Listen, I love what you do, but that song, it's just I don't like it. I'm sorry." I don't think he'll hate you for it. He'll be like, "Okay, no problem. I'm glad you like everything else." I'm sure he'll say that.
Well, why would you even say that to him? Why would you even bring that up? I mean, I don't understand that.
Well,
I wouldn't just bring it up. But there's something. Everything comes out. Like if he was to say to me, "So hey Dave, how do you like that song?" Well, quite frankly, Ed, I don't know. It's not for me. That's all. I don't know. I like the rest of the album.
I could just imagine meeting Eddie and being like, "Hey, it's great to. Oh man, hey, this is great. You've changed my life. Hey, I gotta ask you though, how many sides?
What the F were you thinking?
Oh,
Johnny's getting upset. Johnny's getting upset with me because I don't like something.
Well, no, I'm just.
I'm just making a joke.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you guys have a right to, you know. I mean, you like what you like. You know.
Yeah.
Musically, it's a great song. You know, piano-wise.
There's really no music in it, but keyboard.
It's still music.
But piano, it's just piano. Yeah, I
Maybe it's because there's
understand
no
that.
guitar.
It's music.
If there was guitar in it, would you like it better?
I don't know, because A New World has guitar in it too, and I'm like, whatever, dude. Nice beginning to the other song.
Mm-hmm.
You
know who played the piano in that?
I don't know, some other dude. It wasn't Eddie, I know.
It was Mike Post. The guy who did all those theme songs for A-Team.
Oh yeah, Riptide, Night Rider, yeah.
Well, not.
The cool thing about it is that it sounds like Eddie playing the piano, which is cool. I think Mike Post has the knack for sounding like other people when he plays.
Magnum PI.
Yeah.
You know.
Remington Steele. Riptide.
Listen to Magnum PI and then listen to New World and listen to I actually always thought Seventh Seal had a Magnum PI.
It does, yes.
I always thought that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, it's got this basic riff of Seventh Seal. Wow, I never noticed that.
Yeah, and that's Mike Post.
Yeah,
that's the same guy. You know?
And actually, if you read the Guitar World interview from Eddie in 2012, from the 2012 tour, I never knew this until I read that article. Eddie says they had Seventh Seal. He had that song written back in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah. It says it in that magazine. Eddie.
I think you can hear the riff like on a bootleg way back when.
Yeah.
I think there's a bootleg where he's playing like in between songs or something, and you hear like that lick. I think.
No kidding.
Is that true?
That's
Anybody?
the first.
But you're
right. Is that
true,
Eddie?
I think it's true. I recall that for some reason. But as far as Van Halen 3 for myself,
your favorite song is How Many Say I? I'm just giving it back, Johnny. I'm giving it back because you really you razz me all the time. I'm just giving it back a little bit. Sorry. You can just sit there. Take it.
What songs are on that album?
Without You.
Mm-hmm. Fire in the Hole.
Fire in the Hole. Dirty Water Dog. Josephina.
Dirty Water Dog. That's Stompin' 8/8.
Yeah. Yeah. Dirty Water Dog. Josephina.
When that song
Ballad
came out.
or the Bullet.
When that came out, I was like, wait a minute, that's the song he played on Saturday Night Live. You know?
Yeah.
And it's since been recorded a couple other times. Lukather recorded it, and Van Halen actually recorded it for Fish 150. You know? They called it I Want Some Action or something.
Yeah, I Want Action.
I Want Action. Hey, dude, okay, we're not going yet, okay? You gotta wait. Wait. A little bit. A little bit, all right? Uh-oh. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. Welcome back, Rob.
Yeah, I had to bow out so I could get my screen back again.
I understand. Bow out. Johnny had to bow out, too.
Actually, I do have to bow out here now.
Well, you'll wait for a second, and then you can bow out. You can bow wow wow out.
Bow wow wow wow. How's my buddy Brandy doing?
She's good. She's laying here as if she was dead. She's good.
So what's the next guitar project, Dave?
I don't really have one. I have to. I really. I kind of ran out of money. I didn't run out of money, but I ran out of play funds to do guitars with.
Yeah,
I have to make some money.
No, I'm in the same boat. I've kind of run out of the fundage for the guitars. I mean, and, you know, if I never got another guitar again, I would be more than satisfied because I love my collection. I have all the Van Halen guitars I could possibly want. There's still guitars that I do want and I plan to get, but right now my finances are not in a position where I could probably move on a couple more of the guitars that I'd like to right now. Hopefully by.
What would you like to get? What's your wish list? What would you like?
Well, I mean I could go on and on with 20, 30 more guitars that I'd like, but I'd like to get a Telecaster. I would like to get a green PV Deluxe USA Special and put the Fernandez Sustainer in it, like I used to have that guitar. I never had the Fernandez in it. I'd like a red Ernie Ball Music Man EVH guitar. I'd like a red one.
Why red? So you can have the one that's in the poster?
Well, kind of, yes, but I don't really want a purple one because I love my purple PV. So I think I'd probably go. I'd like a red Ernie Ball now. I'd like to do a 5150 backup guitar from the 5154. I mean, just I mean, there's always guitars that I like. There's probably 3 or 4 that I could say immediately, but definitely the green PV, the red Ernie Ball Music Man EVH, the Telly, and probably the 5150 backup. Those would be the 4 immediate. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I'll give you my wish list. I want a purple PV Wolfgang.
Yep.
I want a Ripley stereo guitar.
Oh yeah.
Which I have a line on one for very cheap. I just have to come up with the money for it real quick.
Mhm.
I want a 5150 guitar with Charvel Strat headstock, a la 2004.
Yep.
Trying to think, is there anything else? And I eventually want to get a Stealth Wolfgang again.
Yes, that's one of mine too. Yeah, I forgot that. I'd like a Stealth. Then
and I would like to make a replica of the Tour guitar, the Tour Relic.
Mhm. Yep.
But I'm not going to make it out of this guitar. I'm not gonna relic this guitar. I'm gonna eventually get another one and have it relic.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and as far as my favorite song from Van Halen 3, I can't remember what songs are on that. Well, I mean that record. You know how there's albums or there's songs, you listen to them and they take you back to whatever you're doing at that time.
Yeah.
That record is very, very strange to me because that album came out when I was living in Miami.
Mm.
When I was signed to Desmond Child's record label, Universal Records. So I was very busy at the time playing. I probably played like 3-4 shows a week. I was always traveling, always recording, always doing stuff. So that's the reason why I missed that tour. That's the reason why I never saw them on that tour. Because I was too busy.
Yeah.
So every time I hear that album, it totally takes me back to driving around, Miami. In between rehearsals, in between shows, in between sessions, whatever. So it's
cool.
It's,
our buddy Jimmy just texted me and said "From Afar." "From Afar" is on that record as well.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Year to the Day.
And "From Afar" reminds me of you. It reminds me of You and Your Blues. The guitar riff kind of reminds me of You and Your Blues.
Yeah,
kind of different kind of truth.
Kind of, yeah. Dirty Water Dog also has the riff of I Want Some Action from the B-Sides 5150 song, and also the Saturday Night Live he did with, what's his name there?
G.E. Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a great sketch last night on YouTube. There was this show that came out in 1984. It was only on for like a couple months or something. It was called The New Show. It was on NBC Friday nights. It was on Friday nights, but it was competing with Saturday Night Live, and it was a Lorne Michaels show. So maybe he wasn't working for Saturday Night at that point, but he went and got Steve Martin, Jeff Goldblum, Bob and Doug. Which one's not Rick Moranis, the other guy, Dave Thomas. Yeah, he got all these people, and they had this show. I think Gilda Radner was on it. It was called The New Show, and it was like a Saturday Night Live.
I remember that.
It was a spin-off of Saturday Night.
And it only lasted like a couple months or something. Anyway, there's some clips of it on YouTube. Anyway, I watched a clip late last night, a sketch, and it was Jeff Goldblum and they were talking. They were like teachers, like in the break room, and they were talking about what they were going to do for like the teacher's talent show or something like that, you know. And Jeff Goldblum, he's like, oh, I'll play, you know, show tunes on the piano. And anyway, one of the other actors in the scene who played a teacher was G.E. Smith, and he was wearing a guitar, right? And so he actually performs a song in the sketch with was it Catherine O'Hara, I think. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I was just reminded of that because I saw that late.
The New Show, yeah.
It's called The New Show, yeah. It didn't last very long.
Yeah, it was very short, very brief.
I had no memory of it. I probably never saw it when it was actually out, but it was literally Saturday Night Live, but it was all pre-recorded. It wasn't live at all.
Yeah.
That was the other thing about it.
I never heard of it.
The New Show.
Yeah, check it out. Or check out, you know, that scene with G.E. Smith, you know.
Minutia. It's called Minutia.
Menudo.
It's called Menudo.
Menudo.
Yeah. But again, as far as my favorite song from Van Halen 3, I mean, maybe Without You, I think. Maybe that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I
like One I Want. Fire in the Hole and One I Want. One I Want was kind of cool.
One I Want, I liked that one.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, not From Afar. The One I Want is the one that sounds like
You and Your Blues.
You and Your Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, same kind of riff. From Afar has some great triplet echo stuff. It has some good delay stuff in it.
Yeah. The Matt Rock episode they did on VH1 back in '98 was Gary, Alex, Michael, and Eddie, and they were on Matt Rock, and Eddie had his Wolfgang, his Tobacco Wolfgang, a Sunburst one, and he was doing a bunch of riffs.
They were at the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, they were at 5150s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eddie was doing some really cool stuff on the guitar, very dry. I think he was playing a PB 5150 combo at very, very low volumes, but he was doing some From Afar kind of noises. It was kind of cool.
I don't remember that either. Do any of you have that on video?
I do. Yeah, I got it on.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's called the Matt Rock Show. Yeah.
It was
Matt Rock Show with Van Halen.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Eddie and Michael kind of didn't get into it, but Eddie kind of slammed Mike. It was kind of funny in that because they're talking about we're gonna do I'm the One. We're gonna do I'm the One, and Michael's like, yeah, we haven't done that show in like 13 years, and Eddie's like, 13? What do you mean 13? It's been 20 years since we did that. And Michael was kind of like, whoa. You could just kind of see like a little, you know, it was kind of interesting. I remember watching that. And I just saw it again a few weeks ago, and I picked up on that again. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Al goes, "What do you expect? He's the bass player." He goes and he like taps him on the back. It was kind of funny.
Wow.
It's so funny.
Hey, Pete. What's up, man? Oh, and
It doesn't come up.
I'll send you the link when we're done with this. I'll send it to you. I know exactly where it is.
Is it Matt's Metal Show?
No, it's called Nat Rock.
I don't know. Well, if that's what his show was called. On YouTube, it might not be called that.
Yeah, maybe not.
And I think it's in 2 parts. I don't think it's one video. I think there's like 2 videos or something.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right, Johnny. I think they did break it up into 2 pieces on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you could send me the thing when you can, that'd be great.
I'm sure you've seen it though. I'm sure you've seen it. I think you've seen it.
If I saw it at all, it's when it first came out, and I don't remember it because I've never seen it. Other than that, I would have been like, "That's cool." I would watch it all the time.
Because that was right around when you met the band, Dave, when you were with them back in '98.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it would have been like right when it came out. That's when I would have seen it.
Yep.
Hey, 802 Blues. Hey guys, can't comment on the new chat, so I am commenting on an old one to say hi. You're commenting on an old video to say hi to us now? Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about using that chat window is you can't comment in the actual comments, and all the chat, all the stuff that's being said right here that I'm the only one that can see out of the 3 of us. Although I guess Rob, you could see it if you opened up another window.
Open up a window, I probably could, yeah.
If you opened up another window and kept that volume down, you would see it right there on the
right
on the other
this side or whatever. Yeah. So that's one of the things I don't like about that. Oh, and because all the comments here, once we're done with this video, all those comments gone.
Yeah.
So I might look like I'm a weirdo sitting here reading things that aren't even there in the future. Hey, Brian.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just don't like it.
I don't like it either. Although everybody else, they like it because they can talk to each other. So maybe it's more about people talking to each other, I guess.
Yeah.
But
hey guys, I gotta bounce. I do have to bounce. I only had an hour, so.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. You can bounce.
We'll talk maybe tomorrow. Sound good?
Me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Teddy.
That's fine. I won't be here, but.
Yeah. Rob, I'll be available if you want to go live tomorrow at our same time or maybe a little later or whatever.
Yeah, let me. I'll talk with you guys tomorrow either way, one way or another, anyways. But yeah, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good to see everybody. And we'll chat tomorrow.
Yes.
You got it. Take it easy.
Good night, guys.
See ya. Now watch. It's all gonna be questions for him.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know what that magazine was that he was holding up. The Total Guitar.
There are a bunch of. Teddy just sent me a photo of. Oh, did I just lose you, Johnny?
Dave, where are you? Dave, can you see me?
What do you mean? Where am I?
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Because I can't see. All I see is me and Rob's avatar.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you're cool. I see you.
There you are. I see you now. I see you. Teddy just sent me a link to, I guess, an eBay thing where there's a bunch of PV Wolfgang bodies with 3 single coil pickups in them. That's cool. $250.
What's the seller's name?
I don't know. I'll tell you in 1 second.
Well, maybe don't even say anything because I think. Hang on.
It doesn't say.
Uh, yes, it does say. I know who that is, and they're not real bodies. They're copies.
Yeah, well, I
It's
know they're
it's it's
copies because
Storms.
there
I
were
think
only
it's I,
there were only a couple of the real ones.
it's John Storms. He makes those.
Oh yeah, John,
So
that's it.
that's who it is. Oh, now Teddy is saying that. Yeah, I figured because it says where he
Yes.
lives, and I know he posts that he makes those bodies. So they're not real PVs.
No. No, I knew they weren't real PVs because they were only in real. PV only made like just a few of those,
Like
like
three
two
of
or
them.
three of them.
And there was an actual
Yeah,
one that was up at one point. Remember that?
there was. It
Like
was the
like an
body. It was a
ivory.
white body. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a couple of years ago when that was on for sale, and it was a lot of money. It was like $600, right?
It's probably more than that.
No, I think it was $600.
And you don't own it?
No, and I didn't own it because I thought that was too much money.
Oh,
It's like, man, who's going to pay $600 for a body with nothing in it?
you'd buy that now though, right? For $600?
No. Nope.
An actual PV one?
No,
A body
because
that you
then I'd have
can't
to
get?
find a PV neck. I'd have to find a PV neck, and it's too much. It ends up being too much money for a kit.
All right. Well, I meant. Oh, it was listed for $1,200. Teddy says.
Oh, it
I
was?
told you. I told you it was more. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Teddy.
whatever.
Teddy's on top of things, man. Yeah. See, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time now, man. Because when you said you wanted to do this tonight, I was not in the mood at all.
Why?
I had a million things to do, and I was just getting madder and madder and madder. And then now I'm having a great time.
That's because Rob's not here. Oh,
No, I like
so
Rob.
funny. I don't.
I like Rob. Rob Jones. Oh. Oh, you mean our Rob? Oh, yeah, of course. Let me see. Ron, you almost missed it. It's Tuesday, though. Yeah, we really shouldn't be on. So maybe I think once we end, I'll just delete this video. I'm kidding.
What's your name, Mully?
Yeah. Mully will do 8-hour hangouts, and then at the end, just delete them. Oh. Hey, Stacy. Yeah, we just happened to jump on tonight, Ron, because Nesdal has an actual live tomorrow night. So he's not going to be here tomorrow, but I think Rob Johnson and I will probably go live tomorrow at our regular time and just bash Nesdal nonstop for like 3 hours.
It's fine. Even bad publicity is good publicity. Well, you can even show people. You can show that photo of me with my shirt off that's on that hangout somewhere. You can unblock it and show it and laugh at it. Look at Nesdal, no shirt.
I don't understand that, man. Why would you have a series of photos of the same guitar, and then in the middle of those, like it's almost like, man, it's almost like you were taking pictures of the guitar, and then you just happen to take that selfie and then continue taking pictures of that guitar. Is that what it was? That's
Probably.
what it had to have been. So it's like you're scrolling through, and all of a sudden there's a photo.
Oh no! No
shirt on.
I know what it was. I know. No, I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. I had erased a bunch of photos between those photos, and that was the way it looked. That was the way it kind of looked. I must have missed to erase that photo.
Uh-huh.
Like I missed one.
Well, even my own selfies I take, even my own duck faces, I delete. Once I post them, although I don't think you probably posted that anywhere though. Huh?
No. That was for someone else, a long time ago, actually.
Michael Smith it says it's like paying for a ton of PV guitar jigsaw puzzle. Huh? Dave got new glasses, Ron says. Yeah, I was gonna say something. Are those new ones or old ones or different ones?
They're fairly new. I don't really like them. I left my other glasses in the car. And
it makes you look like a professor or something with those.
They're supposed to be like John Lennon style glasses, but they're not really round enough, and they're too small for my face. I would like to have slightly bigger ones, like longer this way.
You look like an old timey guy. You know, the small glasses.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. I actually have like 3-4 different pairs of glasses. And I'll wear the same. Well, I wear 2 different sets every day. I have my shades. Right. Every time I go out, I wear these. Right. These are actual glasses. Mm-hmm. So if I go outside, I'll wear these like all day long. And then if I'm coming home, like yesterday, like at night, I'll switch to these coming back. You know?
What frames are those?
Which ones?
Either.
Oh.
Both.
These are Timberland?
Like as in the boots?
I don't know, I guess. These are I can't even tell what that says. Reactive? I don't know.
Teddy wants the number so he can call in.
Okay, real quick. Dave, the guitar professor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can call me, man, real quickly, okay? I think I have to go home in a little bit.
You have to take your baseball and your glove and go home?
Yeah, I think. Hang on. Oh, I'm calling you, Teddy. Is that okay? Make sure you have the stream turned down, okay? Hey, Vinny.
Hello?
Yes. Hey, it's Johnny.
Hey. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that 3 single coil pickup PV picture, right? The one with Eddie wearing the shirt. Who the fuck is Eddie Van Halen?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, from that listing. The question: the body that Storm makes, that new, like those just came out, but he had to do a more convenient pickup route because if you look at the pickups that Eddie has, like a normal single coil, how it has that little, I don't know, like that triangular part that comes down from the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm talking about, where the pickup leader wires
you
move onto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like look at the picture of Ed's, like those pickups, they're completely like parallel to each other, like
because they're humbuckers, they're not single coils.
They're like a straight line.
They're mini humbuckers
down.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nesdal is saying those might be rails.
They are. They're humbuckers. They're rails.
I think those were custom wound by PV. That's what I mean. They probably were, but because you can't really find a rails
that fits in that body.
That fits like the real
in the PV one.
Yeah, like the real PV body. Hold on, I'm trying to find. Like if you look at.
That's why Dave didn't buy that. There was no pickup that would fit in it.
If you look at that listing that I sent you, you'll see like, because it has a picture of Ed, you could see like the route for the pickup and then how
the
Storm
difference.
does them now. They're more triangular, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like I was thinking, what pickup
like
did this guy have in that body? Because you can't find
Can you see that?
I see it. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just one more thing to think about for the world of Eddie Van Halen.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Think about that when you go to sleep tonight. What kind of rails pickup did Eddie Van Halen have in his 3-single coil PV?
That's going to keep me up all night, man.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you, man. Thank you.
You know, why don't you ask John Storms? Maybe he knows.
That was Teddy, everybody. Teddy. Okay. I don't know.
Storms, maybe he knows what they were.
He probably does. I mean, that's probably why he made something different. Okay, I got to split. I got to go. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. Jimmy. Oh, hey, Jimmy, Biter. Dude, oh, man, we're just hanging up. Rewind the thing, and you can watch everything we just did.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I got to split, though. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. If you dig this stuff, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Slap a like on the video. Give it a thumbs up. And Rob and I will see you, everybody, tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And we'll catch up with Dave maybe tomorrow night. Although maybe if you want to do the Veda later, you and I can do the Veda later on.
Yeah, I'll be up tonight because I'm
Couple
awake.
Hours.
Totally awake. I'm not tired.
Okay. I actually do have to go to bed earlier tonight because I have to be up super early in the morning. But yeah, we'll do something later on. So if you guys want to come back a little later, hopefully you guys get the alerts for these videos. Good night, Michael Smith. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.